Hello everyone, I am your host Ayushi Karasethia and welcome back to our channel Pabbly. In this video we are going to learn how you can create invoices in QuickBooks Online for new WooCommerce orders. So first let us understand what these software applications are all about. So WooCommerce is an e-commerce platform where you can sell your products and services online digitally, and QuickBooks is an accounting software. So the idea here is that you are selling some products or services in your e-commerce platform, that is on your WooCommerce store. Now you want that whenever you receive an order in your WooCommerce store, a new invoice should get generated into your QuickBooks account. Here you have two choices. First, do it manually. You have to take the order details from your WooCommerce platform. Then you have to manually create the invoices in your QuickBooks account. But this will be a time consuming and a tiresome process, and even it becomes difficult when you receive thousands of orders on a regular basis, on a daily basis. What to do? The second option is you can create an automation so that whenever a new order is received in your WooCommerce store, automatically a new invoice will be created into your QuickBooks account. For this, we need to create a connection between your WooCommerce store and your accounting software, that is QuickBooks. And in order to create a connection, we are going to use a software application, that is Pabbly Connect. So basically, Pabbly Connect is an automation and integration software which will help us in integrating WooCommerce with QuickBooks automatically. The best part here is it doesn't require any coding skills or programming knowledge. Even a non-technical person can use this software application very easily. So how you can set up this automation? For that you need to come to my screen. Welcome back to my screen. Here let us type Pabbly, pabbly.com in our browser. This is the website of Pabbly. Here we have to come to products and click on Pabbly Connect. This is the landing page of Pabbly Connect. As you are the first time user, you have to click on sign up for free button and you can create your own account in just 2 minutes. As I already have an account with Pabbly Connect, I'll simply click on sign in. In the all apps section, come to Pabbly Connect and click on access now. The page is getting loaded over here. Okay, and this is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here we have to create a workflow. So come to this plus sign and click on create workflow. Now here we have to give a name to the workflow. So let us give the name as WooCommerce to QuickBooks integration. Here you can give the workflow name as per your requirement and simply click on create. Now we can see a trigger window and an action window. So Pabbly Connect works on the concept of trigger and action. Trigger means when this happens, action means do this. So in this particular use case, we want whenever we receive a new order on our WooCommerce store, automatically a new invoice should be generated for the customer on our QuickBooks account. So first we have to create an integration between WooCommerce and Pabbly Connect so that whenever the order is received, the details are captured in Pabbly Connect. So just open this trigger window and here we have to choose the application name as WooCommerce. Select the trigger event as new order created. Now here we can see a webhook URL and some instructions. So by following these instructions, you can set up the webhook in your WooCommerce account. So let's copy this webhook URL from here and I'll just move to my WordPress account. And this is the dashboard of my WordPress account where I have already installed the WooCommerce plugin. Okay. Now here we have to come to the settings option of WooCommerce. Click on settings. And here we can find the advanced tab. Simply click on advanced. And here we can find the webhooks option. You have to simply click on webhooks. And here we can find all the webhooks. So we have to add a new webhook. Simply click on this add webhook button. And here we are going to add our webhook. So we have to give a name to the webhook data. So let us give it as QuickBooks automation. Okay, you can give the name as per your requirement. Okay, we have to just make the status as active over here. Select the topic. So the topic would be order created Here we have to paste the delivery URL. So the delivery URL will be the webhook URL that we have copied from Pabbly Connect. Simply paste it over here. Okay. Here we have to select the API version as the recent one, that is WP REST API integration v3. Okay. And simply click on save webhook. The webhook is getting saved over here. Okay. And the webhook is saved. Now let's move back to Pabbly Connect. And here we can see that it is waiting for the webhook response. So in order to capture the response, we have to just make a new order on our WooCommerce store. So let's move to the WooCommerce store from here. Okay, I'm just going to click on visit store and I'll be opening my store in a new tab. Okay, and here we are going to just make an order. Let us select any of the product from here. Okay, we can select this iron press. Let's click on add to cart. Okay, we can see the product name as iron press, price as 400 in Indian rupees, quantity as 1. Let's click on proceed to checkout. Okay, here I'll be giving the first name as demo name, company name as Pabbly, street address is 11 Indus Umang. Okay. City as Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Here we can see the phone number. And here I'll just change the email address to demo@pabblytunes.com. Here we can see the order details, iron press, quantity 1, price as 400 rupees. Okay. And the payment method is cash on delivery. And now let's click on place order. Okay. The order is getting processed over here. Okay, and here we can see, thank you, your order has been received. So the order has been placed. Now let's move back to Pabbly Connect. And here within some seconds, we can see that the order details will be captured. Okay, and here we can see the responses received and all the details related to the order are captured over here. When we scroll down, we can see the created date and time. And here we can find the first name, that is demo, last name as name, company name as Pabbly. Here we can find the billing address also. City, state, postcode, and here we can find the email address, phone number, and other details of the order of the customer also. Okay, and when we scroll down, we can even find the order details like the products, its price. Yes, here we can see the quantity. Here we can find the subtotal, total amount. Okay, and here we can find the product name. So all the details related to the order are captured over here. Okay, yes, here we can find the item name as iron press. So now we want to create an invoice for this particular order. But here there can be two conditions. First, the customer may exist in our QuickBooks account. And the second condition may be that the customer name does not exist in our QuickBooks account. So first, let us find the customer, that whether customer exists in our QuickBooks account or not. For that, come to this action step and choose the application name as QuickBooks. Select the action event as find a customer. Click on connect. Click on add new connection and click on connect with QuickBooks Online. Authorization successful, and now the QuickBooks Online account is connected to Pabbly Connect. Now here we need to map the email address of the customer that we have got from our trigger response over here. Okay, I'll just show you the email. Okay, yes, here we have got the billing email. So we have to search the email over here. For mapping, just come to WooCommerce and find the email address over here. Just map it and simply click on save and send test request. Okay, and here we can see the response is received and all the details related to this particular email address, the customer are captured over here. Okay, we can find all the details. Now we have to specify the conditions, that if the customer exists, then what needs to be done, and if the customer does not exist, then what needs to be done. So for that, come to this plus sign and click on add action step. And here in the choose application, we have to apply router. So click on ROUTER, routers. So first we are going to set route 1. Just click on this 3 dots and click on rename. We will be renaming the route 1 as if customer exists. Then click on update. Okay. And we will be specifying the second route, that if customer does not exist. Okay, so we have specified the second route also. Now let's click on update. So we have created two routes. Now we'll be setting the filter and action steps for both these routes. So click on this blue sign, set filter and action steps. And here we are going to specify the filter. Only run this particular workflow if this particular condition meets. So we are going to select the label over here. So label will be the customer ID that we have got from QuickBooks Online. Okay, we have find the customer. So let us find the customer ID over here. When we scroll down, we can find the customer ID as query response customer 0 ID. Simply select this. Filter type will be is exist. If this particular customer exists, then what needs to be done? It is simply if and then situation. Okay, simply click on save and send test request. And here we can see the response status success message condition is true, just because this particular customer do exist in our QuickBooks account. So now we want to create an invoice for this particular customer. So scroll down, click on this plus sign add action step. Choose the application name as QuickBooks over here. Select the action event as create an invoice. Click on connect. Now we will be selecting the option that is select existing connection, just because we have recently created a connection in our previous step. Okay, and let's click on save. Okay, and now the QuickBooks Online account is connected to Pabbly Connect. Now here the customer name is required. Choose a customer or map the existing customer ID. So I'll just click on this mapping button from here. I'll remove this data. Let's come to QuickBooks Online because we have found the customer over here. And from here we will be mapping the customer ID. Okay, we have already got the customer ID from query response customer ID. So the invoice will be generated for this particular customer. Okay. Let's scroll down. Here we'll be mapping the email address of the customer. Again from QuickBooks. And let us find the email address as demo@pabblytudes.com. Here we'll be mapping the billing address. So let us come to WooCommerce, and from here let us map the billing address. In the same way we will be mapping the address city also. So the address city was Indore. Here we have to map the postal code. Here we have to map the state code. So the state code was Madhya Pradesh, I guess. Okay, the state code was MP. Okay, let us leave the other details. Sales term, you can select it as per your requirement, that is due on receipt or net 15, net 30. I am just keeping it as due on receipt. Deposit to, so you can select it as per your requirement. I am just taking to advertising and marketing section. Here we have to give the transaction date. So if you want to mention, you can just come to WooCommerce and let us find the date from here. Let's scroll down. Here you can select the other details as per your requirement. Here we have to give the line item description, the order that the customer has placed. So let us find the order from here. So the line item was iron press. Here we have to map the quantity. So let us find the quantity from WooCommerce, that was 1. And here we have to map the unit price of that particular order. Let us find the line item price from here. Okay, yes, this was the line item price. Here we have to select services, or you can select the product or service as per your requirement. You can select the tax code over here, and here we have to give the line item amount. Enter amount which must be equal to the quantity into unit price given above. Okay, so we have to come to WooCommerce again. And here we will be giving the total amount, that is total. Okay, and now let's scroll down. If you want to mention the discount percentage or the discount amount, you can just give it over here, and you can select the other details as per your requirement. Okay, and let's click on save and send test request. Okay, and here we can see the response is received. It means a new invoice is generated to the customer in our QuickBooks account. So let's close this particular step. Okay, and let's move to the QuickBooks section. Here we will be moving to the customers and leads. And first let us check the customer name. That was demo. So here we can see the demo name. The customer was already existing. Now let us check the invoice for this particular customer. Let's click on the invoices in the sales section. And here we can see a new invoice created on the name of demo name. Okay. And here we can see the total amount as 400. I'll just show you the invoice also. Okay, here we can see the name as demo name. Here we can find the invoice date. When we scroll down, here we can find the product name also, that is Iron Press. The amount was 400 rupees, and in this way we can see that our invoice is generated over here. Okay, now I'm just going to close this invoice. Now this was the first condition when the customer was already existing in our QuickBooks account. Now there is a second condition also, that if customer does not exist, then what needs to be done? So we are going to just click on the set filter and action steps over here. Again we have to specify the filter. Let us select the label, come to QuickBooks Online. And here again we are going to select the customer ID that we have find in our second step. Let us find the customer ID. Okay, that was 8. And this time filter type will be does not exist. If this particular customer does not exist, then what needs to be done? Let's click on save and send test request. And this time we can see that the status is error, condition is false, just because demo customer was existing in our QuickBooks account. Let's click on save. Data saved successfully. Okay, and let's close this particular window. Now we are going to create a new order on the name of a customer who does not exist in our QuickBooks account. So let's come to our first step over here. Okay, that is WooCommerce new order created. And here we are going to just click on recapture webhook response button, so that the new order details should be captured over here. Do you wish to recapture the response? Let's click on yes. And now it is waiting for the webhook response. So in order to capture the response, we have to create a new order. So let's move to our WordPress account, and here I'll be opening my WooCommerce store once again. And here this time let us order this dashing white solid men round neck t-shirt. Let's click on add to cart. And I'm just making the quantity as 5 this time. Click on update cart. Let's click on proceed to checkout. And this time I'm just giving the first name as sample name, company as Magnet Brains, street address as 125 Indus Royal, city as Bhopal, country as state as Madhya Pradesh. Here we have changed the zip code also. And instead of test, I'm just giving the email address as sample@pabblytudes.com. Okay, here we can find the product. Here we can find the total amount. Okay, the payment option will be cash on delivery, and let's click on place order. The order is getting processed over here. Okay, and within some seconds, we can see that the order has been placed. Now let's move back to Pabbly Connect. And even within some seconds, the order details will be captured over here also. Okay, and here we can see the response is received. Okay, I'll just show you the response also. We can find the created date and time over here. When we scroll down, we can find the billing company as Magnet Brains and the first name and last name as sample name. Here we can find the address, city as Bhopal. Here we can find the billing email as sample@pabblytudes.com. And when we scroll down, we can find the order details also. Okay, let us scroll down. Here we can find the item name as dashing white solid men round neck t-shirt. And here we can find the subtotal amount as 5,000 rupees. Okay. And even we can find all other details related to the order are captured. So now we want to create an invoice for this particular order. So first we are going to create a customer in our QuickBooks account, and then we will be creating the invoice for that particular customer. For that, come to the router, and here we are going to set the route to again. Okay, let's click on set filter and action steps. Here just click on this plus sign add action step. Choose the application name as QuickBooks. Select the action event as create a customer first. Okay, so let's click on create a customer. Let's click on connect. And here we are going to select the existing connection as we have already created a connection. Click on save. We are connected now. QuickBooks account is connected to Pabbly Connect. Now here we have to give the given name. So we are going to just create a new customer. So we are going to give the name over here from WooCommerce, and let us find the name as sample and the last name also. So the billing last name was name itself. So the given name would be sample name. Okay, sorry, we have to give the family name over here. So let us map it from WooCommerce once again. Okay, the last name was name. Now let us scroll down. Here we are going to map the company name from WooCommerce, and the company name was Magnet Brains. Now let us map the phone number. This was the billing phone. Let us map the email address also. That was sample@pabblytudes.com. And if you have to mention some other details, you can just give it over here. Let us map the billing address. Billing address was Indus Royal. Okay, let us map the city. City was Bhopal. Here we have to map the state code. That was MP. Let us map the postal code from WooCommerce. Okay, we have entered the details. Now let's scroll down. If you're having some other details like the tax registration number or other details, you can just select it as per your requirement. You can even set preferred payment method also. I'm just keeping it as cash. Okay, and let's click on save and send test request. Okay, and here we can see the responses received. And when we scroll down, we can find the customer ID as 17. It means a new customer is created on the name of sample name in our QuickBooks account. Okay, now we are going to create the invoice for the customer. Let's scroll down, click on this plus sign add action step. And now we are going to select the application name as QuickBooks once again. Select the action event as create an invoice. Click on connect. Click on select existing connection. Again, click on save. Okay, and now we are going to just click on this mapping button. We are going to remove this data and we will be mapping the customer ID that we have got from our previous step. That is from QuickBooks Online, because we have recently created a new customer. So the customer ID was 17. Let us map it. Okay, here we have to map the email address. So let us map the email address as sample@pabblytudes.com. Okay, and in the same way, we will be mapping the other details also that we have got from our response. So let us map the address first. Then let us map the city. Then let us map the postal code. Here we'll be mapping the state code. Sorry, we have to find it from WooCommerce. Okay. Okay, if you have some sales term, you can select it as per your requirement. Deposit to advertising and marketing. Okay, and here we are going to map the transaction date. If you have some document number or the invoice number, you can just specify it over here. If you want to mention the due date, the shipping date, the tracking number, if you have all these details, you can just specify it over here. Okay, let us select the line item description. It was dashing white solid men round neck t-shirt. Okay, let us select the quantity. It was 5. Let us select the unit price. Okay. It was 1000 rupees. Okay. Here we have to select services. If you have some tax code, you can just give it over here. Here we have to give the total amount again from WooCommerce. Okay. And if you want to mention some discount percentage or the amount, just give it over here. I'm just leaving the fields as these are not mandatory. Okay. And now let's click on save and send test request. Okay, and here we can see the response is received. It means a new invoice is generated. Here we can find the invoice ID as 33. It means a new invoice is generated in our QuickBooks account on the name of sample name customer. Okay, and now let's click on close. So let us check whether the invoice is created in our QuickBooks account or not. So I'm just going to my sales section, invoices section. And we are going to just refresh our QuickBooks account. Okay, let's scroll down. Okay, and here we can see that a new invoice is created on the name of sample name customer, which is due today, and the amount is 5,000 rupees. Okay, let's click on edit invoice so that we can view the invoice also. Okay, and here we can see that it is billed to sample name, company name as Magnet Brains. Here we can find the address also. Here we can find the invoice date. Here we can find the item name as white round neck t-shirt. Here we can find the description, the details of the order, that is the 5 t-shirts, 1,000 rupees each, total will be 5,000, and in this way a correct invoice is generated. Okay, so we have set the automation that whenever the order will be received via WooCommerce, automatically a new invoice will be created for the existing customer, and if the customer does not exist, then first the customer will be created and then the invoice will be created in our QuickBooks account. So let us check this in the real time that whether our integration is actually working fine or not. For that, I'll just move to my WooCommerce store once again. Okay, and here I'll be just making an order on the name of a new customer who does not exist in our QuickBooks account. Okay, so I'll just open my store. And this time I'm just going to order some other product. Okay, let us order this drone. Let's click on add to cart. And I'm just selecting the quantity as 1. Let's click on proceed to checkout. And this time I'm just going to change the first name. Let us give it as Ayushi and last name as Test. Okay, and even I'm just going to change the email address also. Let us give it as ayushi@pabblytudes.com. Okay, I'm just giving a testing name over here. Okay, I'm not changing the other details. I have just changed the first name, last name, and the email address over here. And now let's click on place order because this particular customer does not exist in our QuickBooks account. Let's click on place order. Okay, and here we can see that the order has been received. So now we have to check our QuickBooks account that whether the customer is created and then the invoice is created for this particular customer name ayushi@pabblytudes.com. So let's move to our QuickBooks account. Okay, let's close this particular invoice and I'm just going to refresh it. Okay, and here we can see that a new invoice is created over here. I'm just going to open the invoice. Okay, and here we can see that this invoice is billed to Ayushi Test, Magnet Brains. Here we can find the address. It is due on 21st of 7, 2022. And here we can find that the product name is mentioned, quantity as 1, amount is mentioned. So in this way, a correct invoice is generated. Okay, so let's move back to Pabbly Connect. And I'll just minimize all these windows and let us see in a nutshell whatever we have done till now. So first we have created an integration between WooCommerce and Pabbly Connect. Then Pabbly Connect has captured all the details of the order and the customer whenever a new order was placed on our WooCommerce store. Then we have applied an action step of QuickBooks Online to find the customer details, because whenever the customer is existing, the new invoice should be created, and if the customer does not exist, then first the customer needs to be created in our QuickBooks Online account and then the invoice needs to be created. And for that we have applied the routers over here and we have set the 2 routes for the existing customers and for the non-existing customers also. And in this way we have learned that how we can create an integration between WooCommerce and QuickBooks using Pabbly Connect. So not just these software applications, you can integrate a ton of applications and automate your business using Pabbly Connect. In case of any queries, you can visit our Pabbly forum. To check the pricing details of Pabbly Connect, you can visit this particular URL. Also, the link of Pabbly Connect and this workflow is available in the description box. You can clone the same workflow into your account directly. If you really like this video, please comment, share and subscribe. Thank you everyone.